doors are now open, and Reiki level 2, the apprenticeship, is open. So that will close very soon. So if that's something you're interested in, you can get started there. And yeah, let's do it. So I thought it was very important that we just take a moment to just strategize, honey, strategize through how we gonna do with this Mercury in retrograde. It is retrograde in such an important sign, Libra. Libra is Venus ruled. We have two signs that are Venus ruled. We have Libra and we have Taurus. Taurus is about the physical pleasure or physical comfort. So a good meal, relax, nice massage, something like that. Venus is, or Libra is more aesthetic, and it's more about things having the symmetry that it needs. So a beautiful decoration or the feng shui of your house and things like that. So that's what it represents in Libra. Now, whenever Mercury, which is communication, is in Libra, which is balance, it makes things very friendly. Friendly conversation, not a lot of fighting. But when things are internal or retrograde, it is an opportunity to reflect on the inside. So if you're seeing everything outside of you as chaotic, especially when it comes to partnerships, romantic business partnerships, or just communicating with others that you might be close to, the reason why it's happening and that's how you see it is because it is a reflection of what's going on the inside. So you may be tempted to want to resolve things on the outside, but this is an opportunity to resolve things on the inside. Just forget the outside stuff, okay? Keep it out there, whatever. It doesn't have to be in order. I know that's hard to do, right? Fuck it, who cares? We're gonna go on the inside and we're gonna work through some stuff today here. So internal balance, positive self-talk, and you have to see yourself in your relationship with yourself as a partnership. You're not just one person, but you are a balance of the energy. So when you're not feeling good or when you're feeling happy, how do you talk to yourself? A lot of people are not responsible for the way that they talk to themselves, and they talk to themselves crazy and then want people outside of them to talk to them nice. No, this is a moment for you to deepen your relationship or your marriage to yourself, and everything else will resolve itself in time, but it's showing you something. So pay attention to the message, baby. So let's go through here. I'm going to start the session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's a prayer to get us in a channeling state. It is to represent our individual healing journey and to be in collective with others. So no matter what your walk of path or your path that you're on spiritually or religious, you can incorporate that into the moment and just be in this space. As I tell y'all all the time, this is not a cult. You need to be thinking and going on your own individual spiritual practices and or religious practices as you decide how you want to look at the universe and whatever that is. So this is just a prayer to bring us all together, and because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. Do I have your permission to touch you? Okay. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring lighthouse through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So I'm just going to scan through the energy, looking for these areas that feel a little bit off. perceived in a non-harmonious way. But all of this is to find your internal balance, and it doesn't mean you don't react to things on the outside, but it just simply says that the more important thing is how are you treating yourself on the inside, because depending on the person, the themes are going to come up in different areas of our lives, and we have to be able to be open to that message and be able to surrender unconditionally to a healing path that may require you to face some realities about this energy that you may have not wanted to face. For example, you might communicate with yourself and others in a certain way, and it was a way learned through trauma, and now that you are doing things differently, you have to break yourself of that cycle, and the only way to do it is to face the fears. And it still feels scary, but on the other side, it's going to feel like peaceful. It's going to be like, oh, and then it gets easier and easier to do it again the next time, okay? So, just bringing that energy in and feeling balanced. Feel free to listen to this video all during the Mercury and Libra and retrograde season, and come back to this moment. I want you to see yourself, okay? Bringing this mirror up in front of you and see yourself for who you are. See the amazing aspects of you. What do you love about yourself? What are you proud about? And what is your journey? I want you to see your journey. See everything you've been through. And I want you to sit in amazement of all that you have made it through and all that you have accomplished. How you show up each and every day for yourself. How you battle internal and external battles. But yet you still have the will each and every day to show up and try to create connections with those that you come into contact with, okay? And now I want you to see within this mirror, what do you need? What's missing in your life? What hurts? And in those moments, I want you to be as loving and as compassionate as you possibly can be towards yourself. I want you to start to encourage yourself in those spaces of pain. It's going to be okay. Things will resolve itself in time, or any individual message that you want to communicate to yourself. I want you to start to pour this beautiful energy onto yourself. It's almost like you were just pouring this beautiful, like gentle vase of cleansing, healing energy onto yourself. And you are the one who cleanses you. You're the one who heals you. You're the one who purifies your energy. And I want you to release and let go of any expectations that you did it wrong, or that you need to be this way or that way. However you are and whoever you are is exactly who you need to be in order to live out this purpose that you have incarnated into this experience to have. So begin to accept that your circumstances were perfect for you to be who you truly need to be. But the circumstances are a waste if you do not show up and are not who you need to be. So allowing that light to shine bright. You know, text yourself, have a conversation with yourself, take yourself out on a day date. How can you be sweet to yourself? Write poems and poetry to yourself. There's nothing like writing a good poem, or reading a good poem to yourself. Fall in love with yourself. How can you be a good partner to yourself? This is also a moment for you to evaluate any moments of self-sabotaging, whether it has been things you've done historically in the past or things that you may be doing now that you don't want to see but you know is there. The older you get, the easier it is to see those things. just show up in this space and say, I will not sabotage your opportunities. And even if we're not ready, we're going to show up anyway. That the opportunities are ours and we're going to take them. That we don't have to be perfect. All we have to do is be present. We do not have to be perfect. We have to be present. And I'm just going to explain something around perfectionism. The reason why people have issues with perfectionism is they'll experience certain situations or certain traumas in their life, and they'll start to think, well, if I was this way, or if I was that way, or if I controlled this, or if I controlled that, it would have never happened. And they start to think in their mind that they can control the outcome of the future situations that have nothing to do with the traumas that they experienced before. By being a perfectionist, you have to break yourself from that, because you are self-sabotage yourself from beautiful opportunities that show up that need you to be green. And what I mean by green is you're a newbie. You don't really know. You look kind of foolish when you're doing it, but that's the most fruitful time for you. But you'll never give yourself a chance to do that if you don't realize that it's like you can't control things. So that's why during this Mercury Retrograde season, everything outside of you feels like out of control. It's like you're putting your finger on one hole where the water's flowing out, and then you put your finger on another one, and then it goes somewhere else, because the real focus is inside. Let the distractions happen, but all you need to focus on is your energy here. So I'm gonna go in and just start to level and move things through, breathing in and out during this session, focusing on this moment for yourself, releasing past stuff, surrendering to an opportunity of clarity and loyalty to yourself, of mixed feelings, but ultimately compassion, understanding, patience, smiles and laughter, allowing this season to remind you of who you are and the power you truly have, and you hold in this space a surrender of love, a surrender of compassion, and a surrender of sweet words. Even if you need to get some candy, like, it can be sugar-free as well, it's up to you. But whenever you say something mean, you can put a piece of, let's say, sugar-free candy. we gonna work through this, and then we're gonna start a weird emotional eating situation. So maybe that's not the best example. Maybe sugar-free candy, where you put the sweet candy in your mouth to remind you of sweetness. Please do not become codependent on candy now. How about this? Smell something sweet. I like that. We're gonna talk about, like, let's do some aromatherapy. How about that? Every time that your thoughts are somewhere else, negative about yourself or your situation or circumstances, go and smell something sweet to you, some sweet perfume or something like that. Okay, I like this one better. So let's just work as a collective. Do a collective inhale and exhale, and work through the breath and remove these moments and relax into our body. And sometimes you gotta get to a point where you just say, fuck it. I'm not worried about this shit. I'm worried about this over here. And that's enough. 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 And that is enough. So just a gentle reminder that it is going to be from the 26th of September all the way to October lessons and self-exploration that you need to learn during this time. It will show up during this period. And I actually have something very special for you next week that's going to be very, very helpful during this journey, okay? I'll tell you more about it next week. I've been hinting at it, okay? Well, family, you've done a fantastic job during this healing session. So proud of you. And I hope that you take your time as this energy grows and climbs and expands and then dives down. You'll be good. Trust in yourself. Be patient with yourself. It'll work out. Well, family, I enjoyed this session. Again, if you'd like continued support, because I always add extra things that we do within our inclusive, mystical, self-care community on Patreon, go ahead and join that. It's only $3.33 a month, and we do things weekly, and we meet live. Coming up next week, we will be having a live session, and live meaning Zoom, so we talk as a group and a collective, and we're going to be reading our own tarot cards, and so that's going to be something that is fun and full of intuitive work next week, as well as we have the Reiki certifications. And so if you're interested in becoming a Reiki practitioner, Reiki level 1 and Reiki level 2 is open. There's two paths. There's the solitaire and the apprentice. The apprentice works with me, and so we have a live session, and there's a cohort, and there's continued support. The solitaire is for the person who needs a refresher, or they already have exposure, or they just want to do things on their own. That's what they feel comfortable with doing, and so you can do that, and you get access to all of that information. The apprenticeship is yearly, so it only happens one time a year. So if you really feel like you want to work with this cohort, this community, and with me, then you can take the Reiki level 1 solitaire and then jump into the Reiki level 2 apprenticeship, as long as you sign up for that apprenticeship before the close date. So that link is in the description box. Wow. So if you're new to the community, welcome, 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 babies. This is your nightly self-care routine. This is a place where you just take care of yourself, and you set this time aside to do what you need to do during your self-care journey. So that could be participating in the healing, falling asleep, or just doing some random stuff. So welcome, welcome, welcome all my new babies, and welcome, welcome back all my returning babies. Mama loves you. And as you know, we are continuing this theme of Mercury in retrograde going for the next 2 months. And so brain fog is going to be very, very prevalent in some of the symptoms you might experience. So this is to provide clarity, to just massage the mind, to give it a break, and to uncover the important things, because sometimes we'll receive a lot of messages and you're trying to take every message as face value. You don't have to. We just want to gently sift through what is actually important and what we can just move to the side. So you just simply follow and release. So if you're new to the community, we start the session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer, just a prayer to root us in our very large amount of retrogrades in your life. Numerous. You might be born with some planets in retrograde in your chart. You're going to be fine. Sweetness, you are going to be just fine. 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 And move that energy through. Move it through. Move it through. And inhale and exhale. 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 Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now, to just remove old karma, things you may have carried into this lifetime that you're ready to let go of. Depending on where you're at in this journey, you've spent a certain amount of time healing. But you have to ask yourself, when will you begin to live? You can spend your whole life continuing to heal. But when will you live? And living means you have to establish who you are, what's important to you, and what you want to go after. And you have to do it on your own. No one's going to do it for you. They're not going to tell you the answers. They're not going to lay the path out for you. You got to make and take, and sometimes break your own path. So if there's any questions that you have that have been really tripping you up lately, just begin to ask yourself those questions again, gently following. And receive the answers. Keep being curious. Keep being amazed by life and wondering how things are the way that they are. Keep a smile on your face. Remain curious. Remain passionate. Remain whimsical in your pursuit of life, in your pursuit of hope, in your pursuit of your desires and your goals. Keep going in the direction that flows best for you, and move your energy inspiring and healing process. You are. 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 Bringing this energy into the space, relaxing, moving, shifting, balancing, relaxing. You are. You're ready. You're capable. You're able to connect with things of the highest and the greatest form, things of the highest and the greatest form, things of the highest and the greatest form. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Inhaling, exhaling, and allow the mind to just be at ease. Allow it to just flow naturally. Flow naturally. Flow naturally. Flow naturally. Flow naturally. Flow naturally in the direction that you need. How amazing, 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 amazing it is to be you at this moment of time in this journey. How fun is it to follow your road, your path, your understanding and your light, breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed our session, and I hope this gave you a nice little brain massage, and it helped to remove the brain fog you may be feeling because of this Mercury and retrograde period gearing up to happen. Again, for the next 2 months, we're going to be having all kinds of support here and on Patreon. So if you want additional support, daily support there, you can join the Patreon community as well. We have daily, weekly, and monthly things that will be planned there. And sweetness, if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it to you, babies. I love you, but who cares that I love you? The only thing that matters is that you love you. So you gotta learn to love yourself a little bit more each and every day, okay? Because when you love yourself, you act like you are valuable. Loving yourself is not narcissism. Loving yourself is having enough self-respect that you remove yourself from situations that aren't good for you, like toxic love, toxic connection, toxic family, toxic loyalty, or, roles in career in which you feel like you can't bloom and blossom and things like that. That's what I mean every time I say you have to love yourself a little bit more. And sometimes you have to make decisions that go against, what people around you are saying or what you think they're saying. You have to make decisions that go against what the people around you or what you've learned through life. Sup, I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is all about cord cutting. So we're going to be removing blockages, restoring the energy you need, getting rid of old foundational patterns and all of that stuff. So if you're new to the community, welcome, 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 babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you relax, you chill, and you just take care of yourself. You can enjoy the session, you can fall asleep, or you can set this time aside to just work on yourself and work on your self-care journey, your self-love journey. This is a special time because it is a Mercury in retrograde period that is coming up, and we're going to be working through this here. So this is going to be added support for you on this journey. So it's probably better that you start tuning in now than as soon as it goes retrograde on May 10th. That's when the issues really going to hit the fan. If you need additional support for that on Patreon, we're having a double month for May and June. So that's daily, weekly, and monthly resources that's going to be used to help during this period, to help guide you during this period. And this theme is all about self-worth. So self-worth and self-worth, baby. So you got to be making decisions of who am I? These big questions are going to show up, and they've been very cyclical over the years. So today we're going to just start to cut away kind of the old stuff that might want us to react in ways that aren't best during this time period. Old ways that no longer serve us, that need to be released. Okay. And so if you're new, we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, sweetness, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. May I grab your hand? Okay. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's begin. Dear universe, in all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information from our highest intention only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that brings light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe. 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 Okay. So, let's begin accepting of that, you know. Baby, you got this. You have 100% track record of getting through stuff. So don't worry. You will figure it out, but you also have to celebrate the fact that you made it through all of that. In times where you felt like it was difficult, you felt like it was hopeless, you may have felt helpless, you may have felt that you were not in control of your life, and now you are. And if you are in control of your life now, you cannot continue to let yourself be out of control of your life by living in the past. may attract people who don't know what they need, and that can kind of just create this perpetual. And if you start to love and care for these people, then you want to stay connected with them. So you might feel like you're betraying them once you figure out what you need and they still don't know what they want to do. Blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about that. Get you some people who are where you want to go or going in the direction you want to go, or just take some time with yourself. So just going to balance your energy right now and move this space and time. I always get very subconscious on the channel when I start talking about nutrition because I'm so into it, and then I also feel like it can just be like like I'm here for this energy healing, girl. I'm about to eat what I want to eat. But again, it is so important. It is so important. And I hope to actually do some more nutrition related stuff because it's just so important for how we feel. A lot of times when people are feeling bad, their nutrition is horrible, full of foods that maybe aren't good for their particular system, full of very refined sugars and stuff like that. You know, carbs are not the problem. The issue is these very refined sugars, and they are messing with our nervous system. Again, if you want to eat a dessert, that's fine, but the amount of sugar that we have in processed foods is ridiculous. You might eat something that is savory and it's still filled with sugar. And also this kind of fat phobia of not wanting to consume fat is crazy. It's super important for healthy brain function. So these are really simple ways to change how you feel if you're not feeling good, by being mindful of what you eat and consume, and that you're consuming enough. You're eating enough food, but you're eating food that's really good for your body and your particular body, because everybody has their own health concerns, their own things that they want to be mindful for. And here's one of these things: for the older you get, it's it stops being what you look like on the outside, and it starts being like, how does your blood work look? How does your skin look? Like the parameter starts to change, because you start to realize all of that superficial shit you cared about when you were a child doesn't really matter when you're an adult. You know that real health is wealth, and you can look very in shape and not have good health, and you can be the non-conventional, image of health and be full of health. And so it's important now to establish deeper understandings of what you want, who you are, what makes you feel happy, what balances you. Having an emotional and mental supportive system as well too. What you say to yourself, what daily routines that you have, super important as well too. Whether that's meditation, listening to affirmations, it can be kind of walking and listening to music, or if you go to the gym, it kind of gives you just a routine to do something, or maybe you take a walk around the block. Believe me, walking is the cheapest and most accessible way to get connected to your health and making yourself feel good, and it helps the body's energetic system to naturally flush out any of these blockages. But I know it is not as sensational as you go in here and you're running 15 miles. Forget that. Just walk, or do something steady state, whatever is accessible to you that you can. And that's a game changer right there. What you eat, game changer as well too. Baby, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel good? Do you feel like being in control of what makes you feel better? Letting go of old stuff is more available to you now. And sweetheart, you get to define what your next chapter is, what you want, what is important to you. No one else can, okay? So babies, if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it. I love you. But who cares that I love you? The only thing that matters is that you love you. So make sure you love yourself a little bit more. Reiki, healing, hope, community, a place to heal. Relax, be yourself, and be surrounded by those who want to see you blossom and or bloom, blossom and or bloom. I am Jessica. Sup? I am a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is a part 1 of 3 for the Mercury in retrograde, and each night you are going to record your dreams because you will be receiving messages during this time. With Mercury being in retrograde in Gemini, you have an amplified ability to communicate with guides, receive messages, and to get answers to any of these questions that you had in your life right now. So let's get started. So if you're new to the community, hey, this is your self-care place, and we spend time taking care of ourselves. And so welcome to all my new babies, and welcome back to all my returning babies. Let's get into this Mercury retrograde stuff, baby, because I know it can be a lot, but I promise you there's a lot of purpose in it, okay? And don't forget the giveaway. Okay, so let's get started. We start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer, it is just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information from our highest self only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So I'm going to start by signing the 4 corners with the Reiki symbols and beginning by cleansing out anything that may get in the way of you receiving the message, okay? So breathing in. Chukuri, 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 chukuri. Anja se shonang, anja se shonang, anja se shonang, anja se shonang. Saheiki, saheiki, saheiki. Daikyamyo, daikyamyo, daikyamyo. Inhale, exhale. Good job, inhale. Keep breathing. Okay, so I'm going to pull out anything that's making it difficult or tough to connect in this moment. It can be our responsibilities in our everyday life that might be taking up too much space. So give you the ability to see far beyond, wide into the cosmos. Any information you want to know, it's right there. And let's pull it out. So you have everything you need as you expand your consciousness, your awareness of this moment. Every time we pull something out, we're pulling another scar in the galaxy. Breathing, 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 and relax, relax. Okay, now just balance yourself here, balance your energy. Balance it. Balance it, balance it, balance it, balance it. Balance it. Balance it and shift it on. And shift it on. So just breathe in and out. Breathe in and out here. This Mercury in retrograde period is all about reestablishing your identity, who you are. So a lot of things may have come up in various areas of your life to shake in that, because it's time to reestablish the new you, who you are, what you want to be, who you need to be. Connect into this, and it is okay to not know, to not have an answer, to not be clear on who you are, but simply to surrender to the path. And find your way there over time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now just allow the eyes to rest. And behind the eyelids, see galaxies, see the stars, see space. And float in it, knowing that you are just one dot in the infiniteness of all that is out there. Breathing here, inhaling and exhaling. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Now, whatever is impacting you in your life, whatever's impacting you in your life, ask about it. Ask the universe about it. Ask the universe about it. And receive the information. Feel it, smell it, taste it. Become fully engulfed in your senses as the message comes across. Breathing in and out here. In and out. In and out. Removing any of this old stuff that feels like it's still stuck on you. you're ready to let go of, to be released from, and to embrace this next chapter. Breathe in and out here. In and out. Pulling through each moment, each piece. Inhaling and exhaling. Release. Inhaling and exhaling. Release. Inhaling and exhaling. Release. And move this through you. Release and let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Just take out any extra stuff that may have come up during this time. And pull it from your energy and send it on in its path. Send it, send it, send it to its next level. 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 Send it to its next level of healing, of cleansing, of comfort. Send it to its next level. Okay, opening you up, channeling here. What answers have you been seeking in your life? Ask them now. What answers have you been seeking in your life? Ask them now. And feel the universe wash over you as you receive cleansing from anything that cells to know, your heart to know, your wisdom to know. Who are you? 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 Breathing here in this moment, releasing and letting go, exhaling, surrendering, pushing forward, and what is best for you. So let's just cleanse out anything that needs to be removed, anything that has taken up a lot, and replace it with all that has balanced you, all that makes you feel enough, all that brings you happiness, peace, and purpose. It's perfect for you. Perfect, 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 perfect for you. And as you sleep, think about your dreams and record your dreams and the messages you receive. Because on the other side, on the other side, on the other side is the answers that you have been seeking. Breathing in and out here and releasing, 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 releasing. Let it go. 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 Let it go and release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. And so it shall be. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of the 3 parts of Mercury in retrograde. Pay attention to your dreams, because it's going to be consecutive order of things that will happen and show up in your life. So if no one has said anything, let me go ahead and say this. I love you, but who cares that I love you? The only thing that matters is that you love you. Blossom and or bloom. I am Jessica. Welcome. I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is part 2 of the 3-day Mercury Retrograde healing sessions. So welcome, 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 babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you just take care of yourself so you can enjoy the healing, fall asleep, or just set this time aside to take care of yourself. Okay, and so welcome, welcome, welcome to all my new babies, and welcome, welcome back to all my returning babies. Mama loves you. So just breathe in here, exhale, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and a collective. Oh, it's so crazy. I feel like I've said this like almost 700 times. And by now, I think like you would get it. Maybe the new people, no, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, because consent matters, you know, that's big for me. To have your permission, you, to say a prayer. Okay, you ready? Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Oh, this is my favorite prayer. Out of all of the years in the prayers only really changed like once or twice, just twice-ish. But out of all of the years, this cinnamon, I'm gonna do some cleansing. It's my favorite prayer. It is the most inclusive prayer that I could come up with. And I remember that the old prayer, if you remember it, like the beginning one, I got it from my teacher, and I made some changes to it that fit me and where I was at that time, and the energy I was connecting to at the time. And then I realized on that path that there was just so much more energy, and I couldn't fit it in one prayer. And I remember people would say, hey, can you add this person? Can you add that energy? Can you add that? And I used to say, I don't know if y'all remember, I used to say, hey, during this time, go ahead and insert what you need to insert. And of course, to this day, I get people still reaching out to me like, hey, can you add this person in the prayer, because they're watching like something that's kind of like an older version of the prayer. Like, no, babies, right now we are as inclusive as we can be. And I think the evolution of it is, at the end of the day, whatever energy needs to be in our life, whichever themes are important, just let it come through, even if we don't know, even if we're unaware of who that is or what that energy is, that we welcome what is positive for us in ways that make us feel comfortable. And that's that. So I'm gonna just cleanse out, and this is this Mercury in retrograde energy, letting it go. Now, what you might be noticing is that you have this strong resurgence of energy that you felt last year now. And it's almost like time has jumped, through a portal to come right now. And even though you may feel different in a different place in life, it may still be popping up, because that's what Mercury does. It takes us through these themes and just kind of shows back up. And so just because you may be experiencing some similar things that you experienced last year does not mean at all that you are not making great progress in your life currently. It might just be that it's coming up again, and you just have to accept the fact that you have feelings, you have reactions, that you are human. So breathe through this. I'm going to give a little bit more cleansing here. I miss you all. I don't know why I said that, but I don't know, I just do. And I see you all the time, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, how about that? I miss you. No, it doesn't have to be like some other explanation associated. And I hope you're doing well. So breathing through this. Now, for all my babies who participated in day one healing, and you were supposed to record your dreams, that was your homework, the dream work. What came up for you? Feel free to share it. What came up for you? During those sessions, what did you experience when you woke up? Because baby, let me tell you, I took a little yourself so that you instantly feel better, and then you still feel like, oh, why isn't this working long term? Surrender to the universe, surrender to your understanding of the divine. I tell you all the time, that's your business. You got to figure that out on your own. Surrender. Trust that you are being guided in a path that is for your highest vibrational good. Trust that you have a purpose in this life, and that through these things you're learning, you're living it out each and every day. Trust in that. So breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now, this is day 2. So, let's go ahead and be very, very precise when we do our homework tonight in our dreams. So I had this experience where I knew I was dreaming and I could wake myself up. And it's really kind of in that very like lucid dreaming, yoga nidra, just kind of state, you know? And I knew how interesting, dynamic, I think is a good way to put it, how dynamic that can be, because when I know I'm dreaming, I then can take this experience, this kind of physical experience that I experience every day in my life, and I can take it into the dream world, and I can go about, things. But I also noticed that when you go underneath the veil, you connect to, as we talked about before, the kind of mediumship, clairvoyance, and things like that. So, if in your everyday life you have people who always ask you for something, please believe underneath the veil there's going to be energy asking you for something, to do something. And what I learned over time is that you do not have to answer everything. You do not have to feel like just because, especially those who are very interested in being able to connect stronger in with their clairvoyance or mediumship or something like that, you do not have to answer everything that is a connection for you. You honor your guides, you honor your ancestors, or whatever it is that you do in your process, but you don't gotta answer to everything. And so I knew when I was dreaming, I was like, oh, there's gonna be some shit. I was like, I'm about to wake up real quick. I don't feel like dealing with this. Now that's just my path, but I say that to say real lived experience, that when you go into your dreams tonight, choose what you want to experience, what you want to talk about, what is going to be a common theme for you, and live it out. Sometimes we have blockages in our lives that show up and we're like, how do we get around this? When really we have created this on is your only safe spot and you don't have any other safe spots, and how that manifested in their life in order to keep them where they're at. Very fascinating. So then, being the good esoteric student that I am, I was like, okay, well, let me do me now. I'm gonna do me now. How do I feel? What do I want, or are there any blockages here? And when I was going in and I was just, being here in this moment with myself, I realized how hard I can make things on myself. I realized that I make things, for me personally, more complicated than they need to be, because I equated complexity with value. Even though not everything's that serious. I mean, most of the great things in life are very simple. But it's exciting for me to have something that is complex and something that is like a big mystery, and that brings a lot of excitement to me. So how I manifested that into my life with health, with my interactions with other people, just all of these different things. And it just showed up in multiple ways, in very different ways. So I say all that to say, take this moment tonight to go into your dream world and look at yourself. Look at the things that are coming up for you, the things that are being illuminated. This Mercury in retrograde in Gemini is powerful, powerful, powerful in communication, especially underneath the veil. Energetic helpers, guides, angels, ancestors, whatever it is that you in particular connect to, that's your business. Everybody has something different, or if they don't connect to anything, that's their business as well. But everybody has something different that they feel connected to, the universe, their higher self, whatever that is. Go in there and have that conversation with yourself, because it's going to illuminate a lot. And I feel so strongly about this ability to communicate underneath the veil, because when I look at natal charts, I notice that people have strong clairvoyance, mediumship, clairvoyant tendencies, and a bit a seer, being a seer, things like that. They typically have a Mercury in retrograde in their natal chart. And to have Mercury in retrograde in its, in the sign that it rules, Gemini, is a very comfortable position for Mercury and can be very straightforward. Communicating with those that have passed on, communicating with the ancestors, energetic helpers, communicating with the archangels, guides, things like that. That's what that's all about. So it's less of a focus on the outside. We know that when it comes to Mercury in retrograde, and it's more of a focus on the inside. And if this is not something that you're used to, you can also communicate in a way of just your higher self. It is a time to go in and have a conversation with your highest self, because we give names to all of this energy. Oh, we call this, ancestors or guides or angels or something like that. But at the end of the day, it is just simply energy here to help us, to protect us, to guide us. You don't need to know the names to know that you are loved and you're protected and that you're being guided. You don't have to know the right religion for you. You okay. I feel like my brain is all jumbled. Also, kind of want to shout out Array Tarot because I hope you all enjoyed. I did a Mercury Retrograde predictive card pull, and you can find that on Array Tarot. And I did that. I do Array Tarot live on Mondays. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's card pulls and just things that are coming up. But I kind of like to do things that are interesting to me. So I'll do like what I did, which was the predictive read on Mercury Retrograde. I'm gonna do one for the lunar eclipse that's coming up. I'm actually going to do it on the lunar eclipse, so that'll be fun. I'm gonna do the predictive reading for June. Just fun stuff, and it's live. And I talk to everybody and I interact with everybody because I don't know about other readers out there, but like I'd be so bored when I have to pull cards on my own and I don't have like people to interact with. I just be like, it just be going on and on and on and on and on. I'm like, this is a horrible. A part of the reason why it was such a struggle to do Array Tarot is because I didn't feel like editing. I didn't feel like doing none of that stuff. I liked the reading, but I was just like, and then I finally realized, let me just do live. And that within itself is special. Cinnamon. That within itself is special because not a lot of people like to do live. Or maybe people do, I don't know. I can't assume just because I love it that other people don't like to do it. You know me, I try to be so unique. So cleansing this out. Now, time to check in on our homework. How was the Mercury Retrograde? Give me my words back. How was the second day Mercury Retrograde healing homework? How was that for you? So, your job was to go into your dreams and to kind of actively dream, to be more aware in your dream state. Let me not burn my light in the middle of a session. But look at that. Okay, flame. That does not seem sturdy. Yeah, I'm on one today. Anyway, please do not hit that. Jessica, don't hit that. See, I call myself Jessica when I need to be serious. And I don't say Jessica, I say Jessica because apparently there's 2 syllables, Jessica. Anyway, so back to this dreaming state. So, what did you discover? Did you try to dream, kind of do this lucid dreaming, or kind of this yoga nidra, which is in it, but whatever you feel comfortable with. You can connect to a planet, just something that has a very strong power source, or whatever you feel is your understanding of the divine, and whatever is out there. So take a deep breath in, pulling that energy through the crown all the way down to the root, cleansing through the shoulders, the head, the front body, and the back body, cleansing all the people you know, all the people that you love, and cleansing this connection and this community that we're in now. Aligning your chakras in a way that they are supporting each other and that you are able to do what you are meant to do, and cleansing away any of these things that have been coming up that you need to work through. Giving yourself the ability to see what you need to see, and release the baggage that does not belong to you, or that you are ready to move away from. So through your front body, bringing it down, allowing that to flow through the back body, sending it down, letting it roll off the shoulders, and just see this opening in yourself, and this cleansing or this peeling away of layers that are no longer for you. Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. Okay. I think I did good. So can I, universe, now go into the message? Breathing in and out. There's like this flame, this spark, this flame, and I think I know what it's kind of trying to communicate. This flame is like it's almost like in your heart, but right in front of you. You know, it's like just a little flame in front of you. And the flame is elusive as it is inspiring and accessible. The flame represents what you want, the life that you want. Or I would take it even down further, not just the life you want, but your ability to get what it is that you want to get. And right now, you are trying to figure out how to get there. How do you get to a place where you feel like, if I want this, I can figure out how to get this. And want this can come up in different ways in our life. So it doesn't always have to be material. But this is what you're learning right now, especially during this Mercury Retrograde period. How do you get to that place where you go after what you want, or you expand your life is really a more appropriate way to say it. You expand your life in the direction that you want. You have a very unique way of going about it, that it fits you, and it's not a one size fits all. You don't have to be a perfectionist. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing, but just literally following your heart and your path. That's what's coming up. Now that same energy within the planets is coming across with Jupiter going into Aries. Jupiter was in Pisces, and Jupiter in Pisces is believing very deeply that you can have, or you trust in the growth, the infinite growth of your life. Jupiter in Aries is saying, I And also, you can go into your channeling practice, your trance practice, your meditation practice, and do these same things as well. You can always be communicating and communing with the energy that is around you. I always try to take my time to be accessible and inclusive of everybody here, and everybody's on a different path. They have different strong fundamental beliefs, and sometimes when you hear a message that isn't 100% aligned with your fundamental beliefs, it might make you feel uncomfortable. So I try to give it a blanketed statement, but at the same time I also want to share the things that I've learned as an energy healing practitioner, as someone who is into this esoteric mysticism and things like that, that I've learned through school, that I've learned through training, that I've learned through my lived experience. And so if that makes you uncomfortable, I would just appreciate it if you just leave. Give it a chance. If you don't want to give it a chance, just leave. But now it's like we're at the portion where I'm going to keep it real, and so feel free to like exit left. And if you want to just keep it nice and fluffy and airy over here, and you got your ASMR, feel free to check out now. Still love you. It's okay. Come back later. But for those who are really connected to the energy, and that's a part of their practice here, right now is a very powerful time. You know, we're able to co-create our life, and when we are co-creating our life, we are experiencing life too. You know, the good and the bad, you know, the tough and the easy. But sometimes we can make life harder on ourselves because we impose habits from previous lifetimes earlier on in our life, earlier mindsets and mentalities. Right now, this is a time to cleanse. So you can go to your ancestors, those that you know or those from the generations before, and you can ask them to cleanse you. You can ask them to help you. You can reach out to angels, archangels, whether you want to use well-known archangels, Metatron, Gabriel, Michael, you know, just there's a bunch out there that you may feel connected to. You can do that. You can go through another system. For example, if you are connected to Orisha work, you can, you know, connect with those Orisha and energy there in order to bring cleansing into your life. And of course that would come through an offering some type of reverence to that energy right there. But it's up to you. But this is a time to commune. This is a celebratory time to go inside and connect with, I like to call them your energetic helpers, because I think when I'm saying energetic helpers, other people might say spirit guides, other people might say archangels, they might say, but I feel like energetic helpers are less problematic, because you can have different lineages that feel very, very protective of the use of certain words, which is completely fine. And I think energetic helpers is a way to say just this energy that of which we cannot see, that is here for our greatest good to help us, and everyone has access to that. And so as you're connecting with your energetic helpers, you have to be very mindful to only, and you know, this is the keeping it real portion, you have to be very mindful to only attract the energy for your highest vibrational good. There's a lot of energy out there, and I'm not saying that to freak you out. I'm just telling you, like, just like there's a lot of people out here, you know, you're not going to be friends with everybody. It's the same with energy, and it's not even putting judgment on the energy. It's simply saying that there's energy for your life, and there's energy that can kind of like make you feel all over the place, you know. And so that's why it's really important that if you are communicating, if you are being balanced here, you only invite in, or you only communicate with the energy that is for you, for your highest energy out there that likes you. It's not, there's not going to be some weird vendetta against you. It's not that at all. You just simply say yes to the right energy and no to the energy that does not feel connected with you. I actually was hinting about this on day 2 when I said going into the dream state, and I knew I was dreaming, but I was like, oh, this is gonna be some mess, I think I said there's gonna be some shit. I knew that when I'm in that kind of, I know I'm dreaming state, I know that like energy feels very comfortable talking to me and having a conversation, but you also have to be very mindful there, because you can't just be like, oh, I want to talk to everything. You kind of have to have the same kind of self-respect that you have in the physical. So whenever I have energy that is fear-based, that may show up, just because there are still fear-based things about me, and that energy loves to try to come and suckle off of you. You gotta stand up and you have to like, get the fuck out of here. And you have to, it's so funny that I'm telling you this, but this is how it is. You gotta boss the energy. You gotta be like, get away at once. This is so funny. And I'm telling you that's why I told everybody who's like, I just want the ASMR to leave, because I'm keeping it real now. I had a boss of energy. One time I was in this dreaming state, and it was like a fear-based energy trying to, it just tries to make you afraid, because it can feed off of your energy, the energy you're producing. And it tried to make me afraid, and I was like, if you don't get out of here. And it was like, it's like the energy was like, and it wasn't an energy that I saw, but an energy that I sensed and that I hear, because my gift from very early on was this clairaudience of being able to hear that connection there. And I was like, if you don't get out of here. And when I say that thing just went off, I was waiting. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to fight. But when you're in a dreaming state, you want to be relaxed. You don't always want to have your guard up, but it is okay. You even in the esoteric, even underneath the veil, you still need to walk through life with confidence. You still need to walk in the energy world with confidence. Not everybody's gonna tell you that, and this was a problem that I saw coming of age. I don't know if it's still a problem now. When I was learning and I was training in the early years, I don't know if it's still a problem now. That's up to y'all to let me know. But I saw everyone just being so pressed to connect with any energy out there, not even sure what they're doing, just wanting to connect with the energy. It's very similar to, just wanting someone to love you. You don't care who it is. They want you to love you, and you don't care if it's toxic. Just wanting someone to love you, and then you have a bad experience, and then that goes down a whole new rabbit hole. But it's the same with energy. You can just stick with your guides. You can just stick with the energy here. And that actually requires you to have a certain level of confidence, a certain level of strength, of just self-reliance, but self-belief. And also know that your guides are here to help you and to guide you, but it's not your guide's responsibility to always be speaking up for you. You have to speak up for yourself, because even in the energetic, we can become dependent on our guides. You ever notice when someone's like, something tough is going, and they might, pray or, whatever it is for them, which nothing is wrong with that, but at the same time, they may not take the necessary actions that the universe wants them to take, because they're so used to and dependent on something outside of them doing it. So even in that energetic state, even underneath the veil, you still have to have pride in yourself. You still have to make your helpers proud by saying, oh, look at that independent person, or look at that independent energy, and look at how they're standing up for themselves, and they can continue to help you and guide you and shape you. But it's not their responsibility to come through and just like be your savior at all times. It's not. Now, I'm always very aware of that kind of opinion, because everybody's gonna have a different experience. But especially for those who are younger, I just want you to have a positive experience with the energy around you. Or those, let's take age out of it, those who are new into the experience or feeling new again. I want you to have a positive experience with the energy around you. I want you to have a positive experience with your energetic helpers. And I don't want you to be sucked into the irresponsible communication that one can have underneath the veil, because it's so gate kept that you might just believe anything that someone says to you if they are promising you the world. Oh, this is going to, you're be able to connect to so and so, and you're gonna feel like lilies and butterflies. I don't know what they tell you. I'm gonna let you know that throughout your life you're gonna still want to learn more. You're gonna want to connect to different energy. You're going to take a more traditional path, a more conservative path, or you might take a more exploratory path or a more expansive path. That's just a part of life. You're not gonna not do that, and don't feel guilty if you want to change the path that you're going in, or you want to look at things in a different way. But I just really wanted to take this time to explain that within this Mercury in retrograde period, because this is going to be so powerful to you in your ability to communicate with the energy that is here guiding you, and for you to receive the messages that they are sending, so that you can co-create the life you want, that you can go after the things that you want. And again, I know the message is not for everybody. I know that within ASMR, first of all, I feel like ASMR and Reiki, butter and toast, perfect together. But I also know that sometimes in ASMR, it's very surface level, and I try not to get too deep. But baby, I can't help it. My rising sign is Scorpio. My sun is in the 8th house. I'm just a deep person. That's a part of my whole needing things to be complex. Because I want you to feel comfortable and confident in life, and I want you to have the ability to know that you can go after whatever you want, and that even in this esoteric work, that there is structure as well, and it's going to be a new experience or a different experience for you. But I just tried to keep it real, but at the same time make it real accessible, and make it just really easy to understand and easy to follow, and things like that. And yeah, I do know that ASMR can be very much so escapism. You just kind of want to get out of the things that are bothering you in your day. But y'all know me. We gonna work on something. We gonna work on changing our life. I can't change that. We're changing our lives. Anyway, I have rambled on longer than usual, but why not? Very in detailed, very esoteric today. And yeah, that's it. That's it for the message. I am Jessica Sup. I also go by Jet. I am a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is all about a individual Reiki session. And what's most important about right now is that, if you notice, we have a double theme month going on. So from May to June, we are going to be prepping and preparing ourselves for this Mercury in retrograde in Taurus / Gemini. I'm so excited to be here now, baby. The ish gonna hit the fan. So I'm saying just chill. We gonna work our way up into it. That's why I think it's important to get started, okay? So I'm going to start the session off with some Reiki symbols. We're going to go into a prayer, and then we're going to move through the session. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to begin the session, to say a prayer, to do all of that? Okay, babies. Oh, one more thing. This is your nightly self-care routine. I'm giving my spiel. This is your nightly self-care routine. So welcome, 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 babies. So all my new babies, welcome, welcome, welcome. And all our returning babies, welcome back. Mama loves you. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into that. Do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. I'm going to begin. May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest selves and validate information from our highest intention only. Please allow us to let go of what we need to let go and to embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I Am, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So I'm going to go and begin with the Reiki symbols. Just take a couple breaths here, okay? Inhale, exhale. Chukuri, 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 chukuri. Anjasi shonyanka, anjasi shonyanka, anjasi shonyanka. Saiki, 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 saiki. Daikyo myo, daikyo, daikyo, daikyo myo, daikyo, daikyo. Riku, 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 riku. Okay. And so we began with those Reiki symbols, which created a space for us to begin the session. So I'm just gonna work through your aura and just kind of relax it here. That's all. That's the only thing that needs to happen right now. You just relax. And this is just opening you up and just taking inventory. If any messages come up, I will share those messages. They are collective messages, and that means there's a little bit of something for all of us within them. So take what you need and leave what you don't. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And I'm going to remove anything that may be kind of like blocking, stale, just kind of in the way. Just get it out the way. So just moving that, moving that, moving that, moving that, okay? And bringing this back here. Now, just going through your energy. We're going to get this going and flowing. So, I feel called to certain areas of your life that perhaps there hasn't been a lot of energy. We can call it blood pumping and flowing there. So we're going to focus on that and just bring some life there. So if you found yourself being maybe stuck a little bit, not being able to be as creative as you want, or maybe you haven't been able to live out as many opportunities as you would like, you kind of feel like you're not as free. We're going to take that energy and we're going to work through it there. And all you got to do is just breathe in and out and relax. Now, as I'm working through this, you're also going to be receiving impressions, messages, a sense of understanding, and release as well. And so what you can do is you can take inventory of those things, what's important, what is just being cleared and cleansed, and this can help you document your healing journey or your progress journey or your manifesting journey or whatever it is you're working on at this time. So working through that, moving that. So I'm pulling it down, and the reason why I'm pulling it down is because gesture of manifesting. Not everything is about going up there into the esoteric underneath the veil and staying up there. We have to live reality too. We have to live our everyday lives too. And so this flow of energy going downward is a gesture of manifesting, that you take that wisdom that you are learning up here, or that you receive insight, and you materialize it. And I think that's where people kind of get stuck, because what it does is it actually requires you to work through some things that aren't as accessible from when you go underneath the veil. When you go underneath the veil and you receive messages, they can come very clear. It just seems like abundantly packed in there. But when you start to live them out, you have your physical limitations, the carbon-based limitations. And so you have to work through that. That's a part of the journey. Sometimes it can be resources. Sometimes it can be your physical health. Sometimes it can be your motivation. Sometimes it can be being in the right surroundings, being at the right period in your life. But your will to pull it down and to materialize it is a part of the reason why you incarnated into this experience to begin with. It might be tempting to think that, hopefully you'll get to this point in life where you no longer stress about things, even if there are stressful things that are happening, But I think that it's much more interesting to be this spirit, this energy in this physical form, and to be striving for something. And sometimes that is periods of relaxation, sometimes it's periods of stress. But no one moment or no one situation should be enough to topple you over or to create a stagnation that prevents you from going forward. A little bit of stress, a little bit of pressure is good for you, but a lot of bit of pressure is not. Relaxation is good for you, but too much relaxation can create stagnation. Be like couch potato. Do you see how it is important to have this balance? And the balance will look different with each person. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And just allow this cleansing to flow over you. Don't have any judgment. Give yourself permission to be 100% in this moment with yourself. And release and let go too. You'll be surprised when you let go of some of that toxic baggage. It might be attached to people that you might love, but you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. Situations you might love too, places, environments that you might love, but you gotta let it go. You have to let all of that go. Now I'm gonna go and take this moment to look for any messages or just be open to any messages. If something comes up, it does. If it doesn't, it's okay too. Use this moment also to be open to any impressions or messages that come to you as well, okay? So I'm going to be quiet. I'm still with you, but just continue to breathe here. Breathing here. Exhale. So the impression that came up was like a missing puzzle piece. And it wasn't like a oddly shaped puzzle piece. It's a very straightforward puzzle piece. But it's like you have this puzzle, it's missing this important part. But you also know where that part is. But there seems to be some disconnect in between the two of this puzzle piece situation. I think what it's saying is that the universe came and cleared out all of that. Maybe I'll use the term, how about unnecessary energy that no longer served you, and it cleared and cleansed it out. It's like whenever you have a wound or something like that, you gotta clear and cleanse it out. So So it's really, really important to take your time and to define this next chapter of your life in the way that you would like to define it. So, if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it, babies. I love you, but who cares that I love you? The only thing that matters is that you love you. So make sure you love yourself a little bit more each and every day, okay? Well, love you, love you, love you.